Hi everyone, we're going to go over how to block in the figure today. And we're going to start with gesture, what we talked about last video, and build on top of how to incorporate block in. So I'm going to start with what I know. I'm going to do my action line, my tilts, my three major masses, and then the bean shape. So that's what I'm going to do first with hers. So that's going to be my head. So I'm going to go, it's an S shape, like this. So 1, 2 for my action line, and then after that I'm going to do my tilts, 1, 2, and then after this I'm going to do my three major masses. So that's the head, the rib cage, and the pelvis. Thinking about this egg shape of the rib cage. Thinking about how the corners of the ribs have to go parallel with everything. So it have to be parallel with whichever way the rib cage is tilting. I think I drew my tilt a little too high. I'm just going to draw a little lower. So that would be my three major masses, and then I'm going to do my bean shape. So there's a stretch happening on this side, and there's a pinch happening on this side. So that kind of helps to join the three major masses up with each other to kind of help combine the figure. After I do this, I'm gonna go ahead and do envelope shape. So envelope shape, oh wait, I can actually attach the legs and the arms onto it. So I'm gonna start with the foot with weight on it. So this is the pit of the neck. All the way down is going to be where that foot should land. I want the weight on it. I'm gonna take from the outside of the hip, from the outside of the pelvis, and go 1, 2, down to the foot. And then I started doing this one, but you're supposed to do the foot with weight on first. So that's why I stopped myself. I can take a little measurement of like where the knees are. 1, 2, and then this foot is a longer triangle facing out. Same thing for the hands. I can go off from the collarbone and go 1, 2, 1, 2. Thinking about where the hands land. They're almost even with each other. So that's everything we've done so far. So now we're going to add on top of that, we're going to do the envelope shape that looks like this. So the envelope shape is the big overall shape that contains the subject. So I'm going to kind of use what I already have and go from head to the shoulder, hand to the knee, hand to the outside of the leg, knee down to the foot, The feet are almost even, so that means that my first initial block in, the toes I should say, are even. That one of them has to move down to my envelope shape. And a lot of this is kind of already done with what I just put in. Now I have to check my drawing. So most people are about 6 to 7 heads tall. So this model is very tall. So she's 7. How tall someone is head for, like how many heads tall they are, has to do with their height and or how big or small their head is. So if you have a smaller head, you appear taller, and if you have a larger head, you will appear shorter. So she has 7, so I'm gonna go ahead and measure and make sure that this is 7 heads tall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. This is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So mine's a little too tall. You can put all the tick marks on your drawing if you want. I'm not going to do that for mine just because I think it'll get too messy. But how about we just put them on the side here, just so we're thinking about it. If your person's too big or too tall or too short, you have to fix that now. And then you'll have to redraw the things inside to match up. And then at the base of the pelvis, that's half the height of a person. So the legs are half the height of someone's figure. So that means the 3 major masses, the head, rib cage, and pelvis, are all in that first half if someone's standing up straight. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So at 3.5 right here, that should be half of my height, which it is. And the legs are still too long, I think. After I do this, so I've done my blocking, now I can go back and do some negative space. So negative space is all the area surrounding the subject. So her pose is very closed in. Doesn't have her arms out or anything like that. So using the negative space for this one's gonna be very minimal, but it's going to really, really help. So I kind of already did this with the blocking, but now I can just get a little bit more detailed. So I can get some more of her contour in as I'm doing this, but you still want to think about it like contour, but with straight lines. So no curved lines just yet. Her ponytail is kind of coming in the way on this side. I can see it on the left side of the neck. And to think about like her waist right here. So her waist is going in, and then her hips go out, and then the arm's going to be here. This is the negative space. I'm going to start to shade it in just so it's easier to see. On a final project, you guys would not shade in your negative space, but on this you can if it's making it easier. Then her hip goes out. This is following the box there. And then there's another negative shape that connects to this one that has a little indent for where her leg's starting. So that's where the contour of her leg should be. And that's also where her thumb's gonna line up too. Her hand should be here. I'm gonna jump to the other side. Like this. No negative space by the hand here until in between the cylinders of her legs. So just straight lines at first, following a little bit of like the angles of the contour, but not drawing the contour just yet. Just gonna follow the calf muscle going in, and then straightens down. This is gonna follow her knee, and then the calf muscle, and then straighten down. Her foot is here. There's a tiny little triangle between them. I can do the outside of this leg now. And this foot, her toes kind of curve a little bit more. I had them too pointed, like a triangle. I can put in the arch of her foot on this side. And then I can put the ankle bone in here. So that would be blocking using envelope shape and negative space. After we do all this, you necessarily wouldn't shade in on a final project. After you would do all this, then you would go and do all the contour and the details and put the contour of the clothes in and the shadow shapes once you have all the like the insides figured out where things are gonna go.